April, congratulations on Stunt Woman, the Untold Story. I thought it was, not many years, but in the past it was taboo to talk about stunt people. Not only women, but men too, because it will brought down the prestige of the actresses they represent. How difficult was it for you to let this great project out, taking into consideration what I've just mentioned? If you can
Yeah,
answer the question a little, because we don't use narration.
yeah, that was really interesting. Yeah, yeah. They used to not talk about stunt doubles, doubling the actors, and it was back in the late '60s that Steve McQueen supposedly was the first person who broke that and started saying that he had a stunt double and a stunt driver, and then other actors followed after that. So that's when it kind of stopped being uh, the mystique, but it still goes on today. There's a lot of actors that say they do their own stunts, and some of them do, and some of them don't do that as much. There really are stunts heavily, and the stunt performers get involved with training the actors. So they walk them through the stunt, and then it depends what the actor feels comfortable with. So as much as they can do, but they will do themselves. But depending the level of difficulty of the stunt and how hard of a hit you're going to take, stunt people are usually doing that, even though it looks on screen like it's the actor.
But some of the stunts are so hard, I wouldn't be able to do them. So I think we need to appreciate the function of the stunt people.
Yeah, we do need to appreciate what the stunt people bring to films. They really are professional athletes. That's one of the things I learned. They're not daredevils. They're incredibly intelligent. They choreograph the stunts, they plan, they rehearse. There's a big team, there's a focus on safety, and all the flips and fights and car things. They really are at the caliber of professional athletes, like in any sport you might see.
Also, what I think is I admire them because they don't really look for fame. They look to improve what we see in the movies or now in the streaming platforms, since movies are closed. They're
Yeah.
amazing, I think.
You would never know in a lot of the films that you watch on television or films in the theater or whatever, that stunt people are involved, and that's part of because their job is to go unnoticed. Somebody in my documentary says that the better job they do, the less you see them, the less you're aware of them. And they have to learn how to, when they're falling, how to, not show their face or to let their hair cover it. That's part of the art, that they make sure to, that they're not seen. So it was funny making this film to get some of them to talk and to be in front of the camera, because they're not used to being highlighted in that way.
What brought you into this project? Why?
Well, there was a book on the topic, and I knew one of the producers, Marion Rosenberg, who had optioned the book. And it just kind of serendipitously, I had just been talking to stuntwoman Amy Johnston a few weeks before that. We wanted to do a project together. I was also just talking to an excellent female cinematographer who had shot the Oscar-winning doc Inside Job. Her name is Svetlana Svetko. We wanted to work on a project together. So when Marion came to me with the book, I already had a great female DP and a stunt woman, and we kind of had the team together. And I really wanted to bring the book alive and not have just talking heads, but really shoot action, shoot high falls, shoot drift car racing, and make it an action documentary so that it would be a lot of fun.
How dangerous is the life of the stand women? As you said, they're very professional, but I'm sure there are situations in which something, God forbid, could happen.
Yes, and there is safety is always a concern. In fact, when you talk to people in the stunt community, it's probably the biggest concern. They are a tight family, and they want to keep each other safe. That's the number one thing, and that's why so much work goes into choreographing a stunt and rehearsing the stunt and making sure people know where their marks are. But what every stunt person is doing, they're thinking about worst case scenario. They're running through, if this goes wrong, if this happens, what do I do? What's my exit plan? How do I get out? So they are planning for different scenarios should that happen, to make sure, you know, that they're safe. So they're very safety conscious, but they're also thinking about plan B and C should anything go wrong.
So, April, in your documentary, I felt that you reflect the sense of camaraderie that this kind of job produces, because you, as you said, you need to be protective of the other. It's not an individual thing. You become a family, you become a collective, and your goal is to make the best out of the scene so people like us will enjoy it.
Yes, that's correct. All the stunt community is very close, the men and the women, because they literally sometimes have their lives in each other's hands. But most of the big films that we watch nowadays, all the big action movies, all the Marvel movies, Wonder Woman, whatever it is that you're watching on TV or in films, stunt people are a huge part of those. They often say that they're just the other side of the character, that the actor is creating part of the character and the stunt performer is creating part of the character. And together it's seamless. We just see the character on screen, but it's really, you know, multiple people behind the scenes bringing that to life.
April, do you have a favorite movie in terms of stunts?
Oh, wow. That is a tough question.
Several.
Oh, well, there's so many, but some of the ones that we cover in the films, that stunt woman Donna Keegan did in True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where she's pulled out of the limo and the helicopter pulls her off. That's really incredible. I love the shots of Debbie Evans driving the motorcycle as Trinity in The Matrix 2. There's a lot of great stunts in Wonder Woman, and I can't wait to see the new stunts in Wonder Woman 84 when that comes out. So
Yeah, Wonder
yeah,
Woman.
the first one with the horses and the arrows and all that. One of the stunt women that was in our film was in that sequence, and that was really exciting to watch. So there's a lot of them now.
April, how important are the streaming platforms for people, for filmmakers like you that do independent stuff? You don't have like $40 million to tell a story, but you tell a great story with much less.
Yeah, I think, you know, stunt women and filmmakers like me, we don't limit. We're interested in all the platforms. In fact, even stunt women, we are booking into some drive-in theaters and some theaters, so we'll be on a few big screens. But it does come out September 22nd on all the streaming platforms. So you can find stunts, you know, everywhere.
What was the most interesting thing about the movie, or the most dangerous moment? Or
Well, my favorite part shooting it was the scene with Michelle Rodriguez, who she narrates the film and she was an executive producer, but Michelle is also in the film. And so there's a section where we went to the home of Debbie Evans, who does her driving in the Fast and Furious series. And we went to Debbie's house. Debbie's husband is a stuntman. Debbie's son is a stuntman. And so we were able to put together and shoot a drift car racing sequence where we had multiple cameras on it. I was shooting with, you know, some of the top stunt people in the business. And that was a lot of fun. I would love to shoot a lot more stuff like that. But it was really a good time to shoot that for this documentary.